Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll hear from the mayor of Tempe about the city's plans to combine new affordable housing with a new fire station. Also tonight, the Black Theater Troupe is set to open August Wilson's iconic play Jitney this weekend. And what to expect from the Phoenix Willow District's upcoming historic home tour and street fair. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The city of Tempe is looking to combine a new fire station with new affordable housing units, all in one location. The goal is to expand Tempe's housing opportunities and improve public safety response times. And to learn more, we welcome Tempe Mayor Corey Woods. Good to see you, Mayor. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, Ted. Thank you.
Affordable housing and a fire station planned in all one location, huh?
Well, we try to do things big in the city of Tempe. And one of the things is when you have a landlocked city of only 40 square miles, land many times really comes at a premium. So there was a study done by our firefighters back in 2021 that showed there was some additional population shifts around that area. And so that's why the decision was actually made to purchase this piece of property. $6.6 million in bond funding that was actually from November of 2024. It was from the affordable housing bond that passed from our residents. So this is the first major investment in that. So we will upgrade and improve our emergency response times and our fire medical rescue services, but also include at least 50 units of affordable housing.
I want to get back to that bond election in a second here,
Yep.
but the 50 units of affordable housing above the fire station,
Yep.
correct? Define affordable housing.
So affordable housing is typically defined as what people would say between 0 and sort of 60 to 70% of area median income. But basically, we're trying to find ways to provide more housing for people who would otherwise be priced out of our community. We all know that the cost of housing in Tempe and the entire valley is just sort of going up. And a lot of people, our service workers, our teachers, our nurses, are rapidly getting priced out of our community. And affordable housing is a critical need. So we saw the opportunity here to not only improve a lot of our fire medical rescue times and emergency response times, but also to add these very much needed affordable housing units to help all those folks and frankly others as well.
What location is exactly where?
Right around Rural and Lakeshore. In Tempe.
Rural and Lakeshore. Mm-hmm. I thought it was closer to Rural and Baseline.
Well, close to Rural and Baseline, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Oh, so it's Rural and Baseline.
Rural and Baseline, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's like I thought the Big Lots was there.
That's true. Actually, I'm naming two streets that are actually parallel. It actually is Rural and Baseline.
Okay, I was going to say you're confusing me there.
Exactly.
But okay, that's a location. That's a lot of stuff is around there. The park is nearby. Lots of stuff happening.
Yep.
How do you ensure that that housing stays affordable and doesn't go up because it's attractive?
So we end up placing a covenant on those housing units. We actually do what we call public-private partnerships. The city of Tempe will not actually build those properties ourselves. We'll partner with a private sector developer who will build the affordable housing. But we then mandate that affordable housing be affordable for at least a minimum period of 30 years. And so that's how we actually do it. When we own the land, we have the ability to place those stipulations on any kind of development, which is why many times in Tempe, we try to acquire as much land as we possibly can.
These rentals, these condos, what are they?
They'll be rentals.
They'll be rentals. Mm-hmm. Okay. Built on top of the fire station.
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, so obviously we'll make sure that there's enough soundproofing in place to make sure that it's comfortable for the folks who are living up there. But frankly, I can't think of a better place to want to live than right above a fire station, where I have all of the emergency medical rescue services right below me on the bottom floor. So we're very excited about this.
Response times in that area, not what they should be, or what's going on here?
They're already exceptional, actually, from our fire medical rescue team. But the issue is we did a study back in 2021 to show where we have population growth, or perhaps where we have shifts in our population. And so this was identified as an area where we should make a future investment to build a new fire station. So we're always, even though the services are already exceptional, we're trying to make sure that we consistently stay ahead of the curve and do these updates.
As far as the bond approval that you referred to earlier, 2024, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. What was exactly voted on, and what exactly did people say, we want that done?
So part of the bond package was $581 million in total. But question number 3 was $32 million specifically for the purpose of creating more affordable housing in the city of Tempe. So basically, $8 million a year for the next 4 years is the allotment we received as a result of that vote. 69% of Tempe voters voted for that proposal. And so this is actually our first down payment and on making sure that we commit to that promise. It was $6.6 million to acquire that land. And once again, I should also say it will be a minimum of 50 affordable units. There may end up being more, but we are promising that there will at least be 50.
This is a 3-acre site, am I correct here?
Approximately, yes.
And it's not going to get started for a while here because you still got leases there, don't you?
Exactly. So we've got leases, I think, that run until about the end of 2028. So we always want to make sure that we're doing right by the businesses that have existed in Tempe for quite some time. So once those leases run out, that's when we'll actually start construction on the new fire station and the apartments.
The idea of combining housing units with a service, in this case a fire department, was that a best practices? Did you find this someplace else? How did this come about?
There are other places that have actually done it. Alexandria, Virginia has an example of this, Vancouver, British Columbia. So it's definitely not a new concept. So we actually try in the city of Tempe. We have some of our own good ideas from time to time, but we're more than happy to crib from others if they're doing things that are innovative and forward-thinking. So I don't know if it's actually been done elsewhere in the Valley, but we do know it's been done across the country and in other parts of the world.
Are you concerned, though, that this is nowhere near the trolley, nowhere near the light rail?
No, I think that we've seen bus rapid transit and a lot of the other services in the city of Tempe, along with having the most robust bike infrastructure in the entire East Valley. I think there are plenty of ways, whether it's through single-use automobile, bicycle, or bus rapid transit to frankly get around to every part of Tempe from this location.
Well, I don't know about rural and the lakeshore, but as far
rural
as
and baseline, yes.
Yeah, but as far as rural and baseline, holy smokes, Mayor, that can get pretty backed up. That's a lot of traffic there.
Yeah, well, it's a very, very busy part of the city. There's a lot of development in that area when it comes to not only apartments, but also retail and entertainment options like the movie theater that's on the north side. But I have no doubt that people are going to be able to get back and forth, and this is going to be a very welcome addition to that neighborhood.
No doubt. Or what are you hearing as far as people in the neighborhood? What are they saying?
I have heard nothing but positive about this. I've heard lots of people who've actually reached out through email or folks that I bump into in the grocery store in and around Tempe who've said this is a very creative, innovative way to make sure that we're really utilizing our land by creating that affordable housing, but also making sure that emergency medical rescue times stay up to par.
And could it be another service? Could it be another city service? Could it be a municipal building of some other kind that could also be a basic, an anchor, I should say, a base for affordable housing? Can you do it in other spots?
Absolutely. I think there, as we have other needs, is absolutely a way that we could combine some public works activities, some transportation activities with affordable housing. I think when you have a landlocked city of 40 square miles, you have to recognize that land comes at a premium. So we have to find ways to do sort of creative reuse and not just say, we'll put the housing here and then put the other services here. Sometimes we can actually, frankly, combine those things and serve lots of multiple needs at the same time.
All right, Tempe Mayor Corey Woods. Mayor, always a pleasure. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to see you, Ted.
I'm Chef Mark Charbel. Welcome to Check Please Arizona, the show where Arizona residents recommend their favorite restaurants. And in this episode, we're enjoying a hidden gem at Old Town Scottsdale, Southern Delights, and traditional Mexican fare.
It was so good, so juicy, so tender, so seasoned.
I hadn't had a biscuit that good since I was probably 5 years old.
I live right around the corner now, and it's my happy place.
Watch Thursday at 7 p.m. on Arizona PBS.
On the extreme northern edge of Arizona, there stands one of the most iconic natural places in the entire state. For centuries, the Navajo people have called this place the Valley of the Rock.
Everywhere we look, there's a magnificent view of a rock formation.
But to the rest of the world, it's a cinematic dreamscape.
This is Monument Valley, timeless, iconic, and profoundly Arizona.
Watch Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Arizona PBS.
Ah, the peaceful villages of Midsummer host to lovely parties, friendly neighbors, and
she's been murdered.
Dead bodies.
There's a surprising quantity of dead people in there.
But Tom Barnaby is on the case.
Oh, I see.
And he has a new partner.
Your tie is crooked. Thank you, sir. And you don't get Sundays off when you work with me. Great.
The fiendishly clever series...
Stop! Police.
Midsummer Murders.
Thursday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
What is it you want?
Would you indulge me?
Quite something, isn't it, sister?
Scandalous, isn't it? 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 Scandal I got a story for you. I want it all so much more.
You are really good at this.
I'm just getting started.
The Black Theater Troupe is set to perform August Wilson's iconic play Jitney, the first of Wilson's 10 plays that make up his American Century cycle, which documents African-American experiences in the 20th century. Joining us now is Rachel Finley. She's the play's director, and we also welcome David Hemphill. He's the Black Theater Troupe's executive director. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Rachel, I'm going to get to you in a second here, but I want to talk to Dave. Another August Wilson. You big on August Wilson, aren't you?
Yeah, we're big on August Wilson. I mean, he is the standard bearer, so to say, for relevant, good African-American stories. And he's devoted himself to that, his work to that cycle, so it has to be seen. And we've done all 10, one of only 12 companies in the country that have done all 10 plays in the cycle, so we're very proud of that.
And recognized by the August Wilson family for this, correct?
That's right, by the family, the Pittsburgh Gazette, the August Wilson House. Yeah, we've been recognized by all of them.
Okay, so Rachel, Jitney, what's it about, and how, as the director now, how difficult is it to put on an iconic play where people kind of know, when they know August Wilson, they know what's going on here? Is that a little bit of pressure for you?
Well, I think I look at it more as an opportunity and an exciting opportunity than pressure, because this is a play that really is relevant to our times. It's about community coming together and supporting each other, people that are all coming from different perspectives and different backgrounds in some ways within this community, who represent different walks of life, but have come together to find a way in a system that wasn't set up to support them, to support each other.
Yeah, these are what, unlicensed cab drivers in Pittsburgh,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
But when you put on a play like this, and I ask directors this often, it could be Shakespeare, could be anything. Do you follow certain guidelines? Do you try to put your imprint on it? How does that work?
I think that you really have to, especially with August, because he's such a good playwright, you just dig into what the script is telling you it needs. You know, so you can't, I think sometimes people try too hard to put a slant on it that shows that they're the one who directed it.
Yes.
But I think really, if you dig into what the story is telling you, you can't help but who you are is going to be present in the work without you having to force it to be there.
Yeah.
If you just focus in on what is it that this story wants to be, what is it that this story wants to communicate, who are these people that populate this story, and how can I bring that out of these actors that are a part of this production? How can I bring that out of these designers that are putting together this world? That's my focus.
Yeah, that just sounds fascinating. It must be quite the challenge, but also very rewarding. All right, David, for those who don't know August Wilson or are not familiar with August Wilson, who was he and why are his plays so important?
Well, he was from Pittsburgh, and he is our original, I mean, he would be equivalent to Shakespeare or someone that has a wide canon of work. It would be relevant in those terms. He started writing I think it was in the 70s. In the 70s, he started writing, and I think he started out of some adversity. But he had all of his plays, we're fortunate to have proving grounds. The Yale Repertory Theater in Marion was one of his great proving grounds. So all of his work not only got good exposure, but he had time to develop it and craft it. It's really wonderful work.
Yeah, it is indeed. And Jitney was the first of these plays, correct?
Yes.
1979.
So when you put on the Jitney, do you see things that weren't quite as developed as the later plays? Do you see the differences in his early and later plays?
Oh, I think you do see differences and you see connections. There's characters in Jitney that relate to characters in his later work that feel like the 1980s, 1990s version of same types of people, or people from this same neighborhood. So there's definitely a relationship in his work, and seeing the full canon, you get such a depth and such a greater understanding of the people that he came across in his life.
All of the plays in the cycle were written about Pittsburgh. There's only one that is written about another city, and that's Chicago for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But all of his shows tell the story of people that he knew in Pittsburgh and of the the Hill District in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And again, you mentioned this, kind of referred to this earlier, but talked about, getting the play across and that sort of, but also bringing it out of the actors. Can that be a challenge at times?
I mean, it's always going to be a challenge to figure out where their view of the character, your view of the character, what you're seeing in the script, where do these all meet? And where do they all meet in a way that's also in relationship to all of the other actors' views of their characters?
Yes.
So that we're all in the same show together.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
So that's always what the challenge is. But we're all on the same team of wanting to accomplish that, so that helps.
Yeah.
But they all have to maintain that emotional chord that August Wilson is so famous for and writes so well. It's almost like music. And they all have to try and be on the same page in an orchestra, so to say. And it can be very difficult for some directors. I think she's being modest.
Well, yeah, she probably is. Hey, before you go, how's the Black Theater Troupe doing here? We've had you all the way back since COVID, and even before. So, how you doing now?
We're doing very, very well. We're very happy that the community still supports us and that they understand that our plays aren't just Black plays. They're plays that talk about culture, and we're very proud of that.
All right, David Hemphill, again, Black Theater Troupe Executive Director, and Rachel Finley, the Director of Jitney. Best of luck on the performances. Good. We should mention, it's February 6th, is that when this starts?
Yes.
February 6th, Friday, yes.
It runs through?
22nd.
6th to the 22nd. We got it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
The Phoenix Willow District's 37th annual Historic Home Tour and Street Fair is set for next week. The event offers a chance to check out some homes there that date back to the 1920s when Willow was considered a new suburb of Phoenix. Courtney Sutherland is the Willow Home Tour's co-chair, and she joins us now. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good. So this is the 37th annual tour here, huh?
Yeah, and when you said it's next weekend, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's time to get...
It's been a year in the making. So I'm like, it's next weekend. But yeah, 37th annual Willow Home Tour and Street Fair.
How many homes will be open?
There will be 13 stops. We'll have 12 homes, and then we have the historic fire station every year. That's right inside our neighborhood.
Where is the historic fire station?
It's on Encanto and 7th Avenue, so it's 541 West Encanto.
Okay, so it's closer to 7th Avenue then?
Yes.
Okay.
It's right in our neighborhood too.
Where is the Willow District?
The Willow District. So we are in between McDowell and Thomas over on 7th Avenue.
And between 1st and 7th Avenue. But I mean, you go all the way to 1st Avenue, don't you? Or do you? To 3rd?
We go to 3rd.
Okay.
We have gates now on 1st Avenue because there are like apartments and restaurants that we used to, and now we go until 3rd Avenue, just on the east side.
All right, and the history of Willow, again, as I mentioned, homes built in 1920 and the 20s, I should say, starting then?
Mostly in the 20s. We do have a few that are a little earlier than the 1920s, but mostly the 1920s and 1940s. So we have homes on tour that are almost 100 years old.
What kind of architectural styles?
Oh, they vary. What's cool is most neighborhoods have a specific style. We are kind of all over the place. So we have some Tudors, Spanish revivals, some Greek revivals, a good style of homes.
And the home tour, obviously, the big attraction there is you get to go inside the homes.
Yeah.
And as we're seeing here, some of these things are really nice.
Yeah, our homeowners are very prideful of our neighborhood, have a lot of pride in their homes. So they open them up for thousands of visitors to come through and get a walk through, see the nooks and crannies and all the special things that you don't see in new homes these days.
The bones, there's a fire station. There we go. The bones of the homes, they're pretty much the same as they always were, correct?
Correct, yeah. And a lot of the homes have the original footprint. We do have historic preservation that we have to follow. So what you see is what you get with the homes. Now, some homeowners will completely remodel, but the outside is the same.
Okay, but have you had problems? Have you had concerns with people that want to either blade or come close to blade or doing radical differences?
You know, not really. I think a lot of people that buy in Willow want to keep their historic homes the way they are, but you know, there are people who do, and they follow what the city says, and they follow permitting, and historic preservation gets involved. So, but I would say a majority of people who live in our neighborhoods really buy in the neighborhoods for a reason.
Right.
Because they like, oh, we can't buy this. You can, or there's no new homes like this anymore.
No.
So
is it difficult to get people to open their homes for the tour? I don't know if I want people traipsing around in my house.
You know, some years we get people who are like, what's it really like? And then they hear feedback and they're like, I could be open to it. And then I was on tour 3 years ago before I became the co-chair. And that's what really made me drink the Willow juice, I call it, because people just boost you up. People are like, this is the best thing ever. And you're like, okay. So, I mean, you get such good feedback, and everyone that buys a ticket to come see your home really wants to see your home and loves it. So, you know, what's not to love about people giving you compliments all day?
Yeah, it makes you feel great about your house.
Yeah,
you said buy a ticket. How does that work?
Yep, so our tickets are on our website, and then you can also buy day of at the street fair. So they're about $30.
Okay.
And you can buy them in advance today or in person if you want to stop on by. We'll have tickets available for purchase.
And the best way to experience it would be what? First of all, where do you park?
Yeah, so we have a parking structure right outside the neighborhood, and we have a map that you can use to kind of guide your way through. If you follow us on our Instagram or our Facebook or our website, we'll have all that information. But there's a parking garage right outside the neighborhood. You could also bike, we have a very bike-friendly neighborhood. We also have trolleys running all day to all the homes. So we recommend you stop at the street fair, get a brochure, get some food, coffee. We have 140 vendors this year, all local Arizona.
Wow.
Local makers, local food trucks, local vendors. We really support really meaningful economic support for local makers and entrepreneurs in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, and I got to ask, I mean, some of these homes, they're absolutely gorgeous, but I went to a Willow Street Fair years ago, and a couple of homes were for sale. Did they put homes for sale?
We do have a few for sale. This year on tour, there might be one or two. There might be some in the neighborhood, so if you find that you're like, this is the best neighborhood ever,
right,
you can go see some that are for sale so you can be my neighbor.
I was going to say, as far as an open house is concerned, you can't beat that for an open house.
You know, we support it. We really do. It's like a homeowner, and if we have neighbors that need to move back to support family, open up your house and take advantage of our home tour and everyone coming through.
All right, starts February 15th. Street Fair starts at 9 a.m. and then the tour starts at 10 a.m. and then good luck fella, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on by.
All right, good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
When you want to be more adventurous, Arizona PBS delivers the wonders of the world, thanks to financial support from you and...
Embark on a journey through over 2 decades of space exploration with NASA engineer Kobe Boykin